Hey everybody, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Rorschach. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, for all of you who didn't know, Rorschach is a member of the Watchmen, with Watchmen being an alternate universe team of superhero type people in a world where superheroes are outlawed and don't exist. Now, Rorschach, whose actual name is Walter Kovacs, he was born in the 1940s. His mum was a prostitute, and she didn't really like him that much. She abused him a lot, and he never knew his father because he just wasn't really around much when he was a kid. So when he was 10, he attacked two bullies that were abusing him, blinding one of them with their own cigarette actually, which is it's kind of violent, and he became the ward of the state, and he was a ward of the state, which kind of means he was a bit of a problem. So he was sent to this home for problem children. In high school, he did really well, like in everything. Well, not everything, but like some certain things. Like I think he did good in RE, which is religious education for you don't know. And he wrote this really interesting essay, which had a go at basically saying, "Hey, well done, President Truman. You made a really good choice to bomb Hiroshima," which was weird, but yeah, he did that, and then when he was in high school, he was told that his mum died. She was murdered. Actually, it was really horrible murdery, and his only reaction was good because he hated his mother and she hated him back. So that's not exactly nice. And so yeah, his mother died. He was pretty happy about that, and he also found work at a really really crappy place, and then he became a prison psychiatrist later on, which is a better job but still pretty awful. And he worked a lot until about 1960s, where he became really really interested by this technology that was made by Dr. Manhattan. For all you guys who don't know, Dr. Manhattan, it can alter reality, and so basically there's these two. The liquid is made up of two different liquids. One of them's black and one of them's white, and they're held between two layers of latex. And they always shift. It's like a Rorschach test for you who've taken that, where you look at an image and then and you have to see what your basically the image tests how you think by telling you what you see, and it's kind of like that, which is actually where he got his name from, I believe, and so these these liquids will shift around inside the mask and create the really different shapes, and they never mix, which is actually very interesting. And anyway, so he learned of the fabrics, and he took them and experimented them and then cut them into a mask basically. And in case you didn't know, there was this person called Kitty Genovese who in real life was murdered in 1964. Well, basically, she was made part of the Watchmen universe backstory by basically being a trigger for Walter to become the vigilante, and he basically used the mask, and he became a fighter of crime using this mask as his disguise sort of thing that he would use to then parade the streets. He teamed up with other superheroes like Night Owl and the other members of the Watchmen, like what's his face? There's I'm so bad at this, sorry, but there's like all of the members of the Watchmen, which he then teamed up with, because as you can see in the Watchmen film, he's hanging around with them. And here's a fun fact for you, because that's pretty much his backstory sorted. It's talking about some fun facts. He was basically based off of the Question, who is a really interesting character with no face in the main continuity, and he actually in a Question comics, the Question reads some Watchmen comics on the train, which is quite interesting because of course Watchmen is set in a different universe to the main DC continuity. I don't actually know which one it is, but he's in it. And then he also, talking about cameos that he makes, he's in the Kingdom Come series, which is really interesting. That was written by Mark Waid. And then also, just to say, after Kingdom Come came Thy Kingdom Come, which is based around the JSA. Of course, I love the JSA. Go read that if you get the chance. There's also, he made an appearance in X-Men, where he ran across the screen in the Riot panel. And he also appeared in some promo work for The Dark Knight Returns and Countdown. Countdown being a Frank Miller story, I believe. Anyway, he was in the film, which is actually not that bad. I say it's bad, and he's in the video game, which is pretty awful. Then talk about reads. What do you want to read if you're I'm gonna read some of Rorschach. Well, you want to read Watchmen, obviously. So looking at Watchmen issue 1, basically everything pretty much just through all of the Watchmen comics, because I believe it's quite a short series, but it was really, really interesting. It's one of the things that turned DC around during its darker days. It was Watchmen, and Frank Miller's take on the Batman really turned DC back into a very popular franchise. Because, fun little story on that, Marvel were considering buying the creator rights to DC. They weren't buying DC, they were going to buy the creator rights to DC, so they could basically write stories about their heroes. And then they were going to do that, but the thing is, DC characters weren't in a great place at this time. You know, they were just kind of happening, and that's one of the reasons why it wasn't bought. It's a very interesting topic. Actually, a very, very famous YouTuber looks at it in more detail. He's called NerdSync. You probably watched him. Go check him out. Actually, he's a really cool YouTuber. You should look at him if you haven't and watch his video on that. Anyway, let's talk a bit more about our dear old Rorschach. Now, what Rorschach's costume basically is made up of a hat, his Rorschach mask, and then like some gloves and a trench coat. It's kind of similar to the sort of attire that the Question wears, but except it's brown, predominantly brown instead of blue. And as far as powers go, well, he's powerless, a bit like Batman, but he's very, very gifted in athletics. He's a very good spy. He's also quite a good journalist, and he's also quite intimidating. However, he does suffer from mental illness. Some of them, because he's technically a sociopath, because he hates the way that mankind acts, and this basically means he acts quite hostile towards a lot of people, and has quite a socio. So, the person, Sherlock Holmes, he's a functioning sociopath. He basically acts like Sherlock Holmes does towards people all the time, which is why people say he's mad. And as far as, gadgets go, he has his mask and his journal. Journal, of course, being what he uses for, investigating and other stuff, helping that out. Just want to point out, he is in the Doomsday Clock, because, of course, for all of you who didn't know, Watchmen have a big thing to do with the whole rebirth having been Dr. Manhattan's fault and not the Flash's, which is very interesting. And for all of you who haven't read Rebirth, it is apparently very good. I haven't read it myself yet. I have so many other comics to read, but there is a lot of good stuff happening in Rebirth, like DC Metal and, of course, the Doomsday Clock, which is apparently amazing. Anyway, now we've finished talking about the lovely man that we are calling Rorschach. You know, the guy that we're talking about in this video, him. Yeah, anyway, I just want to get some things straight. I was ideally going to be putting this video up this weekend, but then some things happened, so I couldn't, basically I was very, very tired on Sunday, and I couldn't actually do much because of some stuff that happened on Saturday, so this is going up today, which is late. I know, I'm sorry, and I'm going to try and do something every week. It's going to mostly be Who Are They videos, and possibly some what I'd like to see from the DC Universe comics and Marvel Universe comics, because Marvel exists as well, and that needs some recognition on this channel. Well, it's got quite a lot actually in the main podcast. Speaking of main podcast, we did a podcast last week, and it only has 14 views, so go and watch that. Jeez, come on guys, you're way behind. And also, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who have been telling me that you love this channel. I mean, we only have 16 subscribers, but from the people who have subscribed, I've had some really positive feedback from, and I just want to thank you so much for that. It means so much to me and everyone else here working at the Raving Geeks, because we're really happy to be able to provide what we can for you. Now, let's talk a bit more about this as a channel. Obviously, we're going to try and do a video every week, and when we hit 20 subscribers, I'm going to start a new series and do a video explaining the Flash family, because it's going to have to happen eventually, and I've been asked to do it 3 times in one day. So, I'm going to do it if we get 20 subscribers, which would be great. So, go make other YouTube accounts and subscribe to us, please, because I want to explain the Flash family. It actually looks like quite a challenge. And also, tell me what you want to see as a new series in the comments of this video, not any other form of media that I posted on, but in this video. Commenting, leaving feedback, liking would be really, really appreciated. So thank you very much. I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you again later. Bye now.